Good morning, everyone. So this video, I'm going to try to be brief because I am heading out to an appointment shortly, but I came across a really good YouTube channel this morning, and I wanted to share a little bit about it and also share a link in the description and probably in the comments below for you to have access to it. If you are someone that deals with trauma in your body and people don't understand you or don't understand what you are physically going through, this YouTube channel is going to be a YouTube channel that I can guarantee that you will find very helpful. The video I'm actually going to share is on physical exercise, but she has a lot of resources on her channel. So if this video doesn't work for you and you are good with doing physical exercise, then move on to a different video on her channel. But this video that she talks about how some people with the trauma stored in their body so much that even physical activity will cause them to possibly have a panic attack or physically feel unwell or certain things like that. And some of you have also seen my posts in the past that I've had to struggle with this very same thing in my own life and in my own body. And that even though my mental and spiritual side has been doing the best that I've ever done in my life, my body is still processing a lot of trauma because I have stored too much stuff over the years, and too much stuff has happened over a certain period of time in my life that my body, my brain is just constantly putting on the fight and flight to protect me. I've used this analogy before where if I'm not even recording. Oh, I am recording! I was like, did I just record all this stuff? And it wasn't recording. I have a newer phone and it displays differently. Anyways, that's an unserious moment. Anyways, get back to it. When you go into the stove and you burn your hand, well, don't go onto the stove, but if you put your hand accidentally on the stove and you burn your finger, you immediately get pain. We think that pain is coming from the hand or the finger, and technically that's where we're feeling it. But the pain is actually coming from our brain. Our brain is telling us, remove your hand right now, danger, okay? So the same thing when in our day and age, we are living in a culture at a time where a lot of stuff is all social media, online, socializing, texting, and that's something that I've got to work on. Sometimes I catch myself in the moment, oh, way too much detail in that, because I hit the record button and sometimes my detail gets too much. And sometimes I have to catch myself and say, whoa, back, come back down. Just little bits and pieces is all you need to share, okay? It's not a big deal. The rest of this can go into a conversation at a later time. Don't need to get it all out right now. Sometimes maybe I do, and it helps clear the air, make everything understandable. But other times it can just be overwhelming. Have you noticed that when we're texting people all the time or over into that moment, we can't read between the lines. We get overstimulated by text. When we are really, our whole evolution has been connected to the earth and to community and to being part of this earth and people in our lives. Now, everything is like technology, work. Excuse me. It's go. And we are not taking the time that we need to regulate and connect with the earth and connect with in-person relationships. Okay, everything is online nowadays. And what we don't realize is that this is causing a constant amount of stress getting into the body, okay? Because we have to read between the lines of a text. Oh, this person didn't answer me back right away. Or this person used capital letters. Are they yelling at me? Or is that for emphasis? They could give a quick answer because they're in a hurry. Oh, maybe I'm irritating them and they're getting short with me. And you have to do all this reading between the lines when you're on social media and texting. We get caught up with how we look all the time. Sometimes, I don't want to have head hair and stuff when I do a video. But there's some times that I feel to do a video and I have no makeup and my whatever, there's one time I felt the moment right out in the rain. I don't know if some of you seen the video, but I was out in the rain and I had this urge to go and sit in a ditch of water. It was like the first time that ever happened. And I decided to listen to it. And in my personal opinion, I looked ugly. I had my yellow raincoat on, I had no makeup. But you know what? I was like, frick this. And I did it. And I sat in the water and I did it as a way to just let people smile, let people laugh at something, and to remember that we're losing connection with the earth, okay? When we were young, we used to, if you grew up in my day, and maybe not today's day, but we were out playing in the ponds and in the dirts and climbing the trees, and that is so therapeutic. That is what we are meant to do. And then we grow up, get adults, and we get all busy and boring. And it's this, and this, and this. My life, I'm a doer, and I like to go, go, go. I don't like to not do anything. Except sometimes when it comes to the evening, yes, that's when I want to just veg. I'll watch maybe a TV series or something like that. I'll watch 1 or 2 shows at night, depending what time I get down there. But one of the things that I've got to learn to do is I've got to learn to regulate my body. Because of the amount of trauma that is coming up in my body, and I have shared it in different posts and different times, little bits and pieces here and there. I'm going to pause this because Alexa's coming on. Just a second. Okay, so that was only like a 1-minute ad, and I already kind of forgot what I was going to say, but I have the gist of it. One of the things that I am learning, I'm dealing with in my own life is issues with my memory. That is an overwhelmed brain and nervous system that accumulates all that space up there. And so I think it's the prefrontal cortex is where your memory is. And I've been really struggling with that. So I make jokes out of it, because why get all upset and say, oh, my memory is horrible, I'm never going to remember anything. Although I do say those lines once in a while of, but I try to say it as a joke. But really, in order to help the brain to calm down, we're supposed to talk more positive about that. I'm going to get better at memory. And I could rabbit trail down that one. But I have learned that if I make a game out of your name when I first meet you, that actually helps me to remember. So there's little tricks that you can work on to help you with the memory. This one I was trying to replace what was going on. Second. Okay, so my husband came in the door and I shut the video off because I don't want to be doing a video in front of him. And guess what? I don't remember what I was saying, and it's only been another 30 seconds. Anyways, it is hilarious. So you're getting to see in person, on the fly, when I make jokes about my memory sometimes, or brain farts online, you're getting to see basically but maybe that's just meant to be for me to get back on focus. So again, when you're trying to regulate, I'm just gonna probably leave what I was talking. When you're trying to rewire your nervous system, okay? What some people don't understand is that sometimes with a lot of trauma in the body, you can't physically handle a lot of stuff. Mentally, you might be fine. You might try to go for a walk. Back a couple years ago, before I was a case study, and Ricky Porter helped get my nervous system calmed down enough where I could start to do my own self-regulating. And the rest, he told me, as I said in numerous videos before, he said that I've done what I can do, because it was only a case study. It was only for so long. It was 6 months. And then he was no longer doing case studies after that. He was moving locations and whatnot. But he said, I've done what I can do. And he said the rest of what is going on physically in your body is pretty much psychosomatic. And that has to do with the stored stuffing, all that stuff in the body and in the tissues and stuff. So I've had to be very, very proactive on staying on top of my emotions. I've processed things. I've had to really change how I process things. So learning mindfulness practices, trying to calm down my overthinking and over worrying. What are people thinking? Texting sometimes can really get to me sometimes. And I'm like, and I catch myself doing it. And I'm like, you know better, sometimes but when I'm in that moment of overthinking, sometimes it's like, you do it in the moment. What I'm trying to do is bring myself back. Remember, think first. Think first. And does all of this need to be said? So sometimes when people get a long text, I know for me, if I get too many long text messages, because I'm dealing with an overstimulated nervous system, it's like too much. I can't handle a whole lot all the time. And then especially having a lot of marketplace ads on top of that, I have to be careful. And sometimes I just have to put my phone on silent, because I have to be careful of how much I overstimulate myself. So back to when I said, see, I keep forgetting sometimes because I got interrupted a couple times. I lost my flow. But when you go for a walk, back before Ricky took me on as a case study, I used to go for a walk. I would get maybe 2, 3 houses, 4 houses down the street. And all of a sudden my face would turn red, my neck and my chest would turn red, my breathing would start getting labored. And there would be all these different physical sensations and stuff going on in my body. My body was saying, danger, danger, relax, you need to rest, you need to relax, you need to rest. And so just little bits of physical activity would overstimulate and put my everything on high alert. And so these are things that I still have to work on. So even though it's been a little bit over a year since my case study, I have to be constantly on top of this. And when I'm not, if I overstimulate, it sets me back. It can set me back days, weeks, or months even sometimes. And so we have to really pay attention to our nervous system when we are dealing with trauma. So the video that I'm going to share below, I could go on, but since I lost the flow and I gotta go, that rhymed, there is a video that I'm going to show down below. And this lady is amazing. She is helping people that are dealing with trauma specifically on her YouTube channel. And she's really easy to listen to. And she has so much good stuff on there. You want to check it out because you need to be proactive and learning how to deal with your trauma. Okay, so the video that she is sharing is talking about the importance of physical exercise, but at the same time, like in order to deal with trauma, but at the same time, she's addressing the fact that some people don't understand that if you give too much exercise to certain people dealing with trauma, not everybody, it's just for those that are, when they get overstimulated and they have too much trauma, then that will be an issue for them. So for me, walking is usually not an issue for me. It's physical work exercise that does it. So if I want to garden, which I love to do, I can't do barely much like I used to do at all. I used to put in 8-hour days. But anyways, now I can barely do, much. Even raking can cause me to flare up and then my nervous system turns on. I have to be very careful physically how much I do or my system turns on. So with physical exercise, even now, once in a while, there was a point, I think it was last month, I had done a video on it. I think I pinned it to my Facebook page. And my body was going through so much trauma at that time, like it coming out of my system, that even I couldn't do all my walks, my full walks. I would get sick in the middle of the walk and barely feel like I could make it home. Okay, so and then I found that if I would just stop for a little while, re-regulate, change my thinking, and Like if you want to check that video out, check that video. It's pinned on my Facebook post. But I was able to regulate it down, which was awesome, and I was able to finish. But a lot of people experience this stuff and they try to explain it to maybe their spouse or their friend or their coworkers because they don't understand why you can't handle too much. They don't understand. They don't understand. And I'm finding more and more people nowadays are struggling with an anxiety, chronic pain, and all kinds of physical sensations and things. A lot of this is that trauma. And you think, well, I never really went through that much trauma. But your body thinks otherwise. What trauma might be to one individual may not be trauma to another individual. It all has to do with your emotional makeup, how you process stuff, how you feel, how deep you are. Some people are pretty strong. They're not overly sensitive. Other people, like myself, I am very sensitive. Okay, I can be very direct, but I'm also very sensitive. Okay, so for me, I stored everything and I internalized it against myself so many years growing up. So there's a lot of stuff that gets stored in that body. And when you're angry, do you notice how you tense up? Well, it's the same thing, in that what you don't realize is when you've been hurt or you've been angry or you've been this or been that and never really got to work it through, if you don't learn how to let that go out of your body, it stores into your tissues of your body. And that's what causes the chronic conditions as we get older. It gets stuffed in there too much and then it starts to react. There's something wrong. And you're like, there's nothing wrong, but my body is acting like there is. So for me, I am getting ready to go see a psychotherapist and have, well, not a psychotherapist, I'm going to go get an assessment, because that is what my chronic pain specialist told me was my next step. He said, you are too wired. Your nervous system is reacting even to physical therapy at this point. And part of that reason was because I way overworked all the summer and the spring when the nice weather came. And so it overstimulated my nervous system, put it up really, really, really high. And now it's coming back down and I'm healing it. And I've got to learn to pay attention to my body, just like Sean talked about in this video. When you feel that your body is saying, I've had enough, listen to it and step back so you don't get the flare up. Me being stubborn and wanting to finish a job and get it done and having so much to do, I don't always listen to that, and then I go into a flare up. So I've got to learn, that's another thing I got to do, is learn to pay attention to my body. Okay, this is too much, I need to take a break. And if I could just take a break for 15 minutes, I could do a whole bunch more, I've noticed a lot of times. But instead I just plug through. So that's one of the things that I have to work on. So anyways, with this video below, she will talk about the balance between needing to exercise to get trauma out of the body, because it is very important, because exercise is one of the #1 ways to process stress out of your body. But when you're dealing with trauma and you can't do that as much, like regular, I shouldn't say normal people, but you know what I'm saying. Then it's a difficult process of trying to find out. And she breaks it down so simple, like just the basic simple stuff. So I want you to listen to that video if you find yourself in this category and finding physical activity or stimulation too much for your nervous system. The important thing is that you don't overpay attention to your nervous system where you just shut down and do nothing. Because if you do, you'll continue to spiral down and turn it on. Okay, you need to take small steps to get it raised, like to raise up your sense of safety and all of that. And that is going to take small steps every day, like I had said before numerous times. Small steps every day that we take. They don't have to be big steps. If you take too big of steps, sometimes you will overstimulate yourself. Again, you're not ready for that much. Little steps and gradually go up the ladder. Okay, so listen to the video linked below, and I hope you will take the time to listen to it and check out her YouTube channel. And if you've watched this full video and got to the end, I would like to know if it's helped you in any way. And if not, well, that's okay. Most people don't watch 20-minute videos. So, but for those of you who do, I would like to hear about it. It helps encourage me to know that people are listening. And if I'm helping people, I just want to continue to do this as I feel led to do. So if that helps you today, I hope that you will let me know, and make sure you check out that YouTube channel. If you are dealing with trauma, she is going to be one of the best ones that you can listen to. I've already listened to a couple of her videos, and she's absolutely amazing. She is so kind-hearted and so easy to listen to, and she knows her stuff. She's done her intense research. She knows what she's a trained professional. So anyways, I wish you guys all love and all of that beautiful stuff. And oh, wait a minute, I didn't finish my last thought. So I am going to that appointment. I had mentioned part of it, but I never finished my sentence. That's my so yes, I have to go see a psychotherapist at Mental Health. It's free. And I found that out, and I thought, I was always looking for something to go through my insurance, and couldn't find a good one. And Mental Health has that. So I'm really excited. But it's about talking through stuff that I might not think I need to talk through, whether it's from my childhood or the loss of my son or all these different things that I haven't been processing through, stuff that I've went through even in other circles and stuff like that I was involved in throughout my life. There's stuff that I stored in. I need to find out what it is. I thought, well, I talk to friends, I talk to, but from what I've learned and understood from trained professionals is that you need to see someone who specializes in that specifically, because they know how to get to some of those root things. So I was told that if I need to start talking this stuff out with someone who's trained in the area, and that can help also to release the pain and the oversensitized nervous system out of my body as well. But I know it's not going to be just someone telling me this is what you blah 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 blah, or just getting it out. There is always going to be self-work on this end of the thing. She can do, or he can do what he can do in his trained profession to help me to be able to express and talk it out and process. But I have to do the inner work on myself on my own when I'm alone and at home or with engaging with other people. I need to put steps into progress. We can't depend on a counselor or somebody else to do the work for us. They can help guide us through it and give us the techniques that we need. But ultimately, it's up to us to do the inner work and to take charge of our lives. And that's research, listening to stuff like I'm going to link below, and just keep learning and giving yourself hope and taking those small steps every day. All right, you have a lovely Tuesday, and I hope you enjoyed this video if you got to the end of it. Thank you. Bye.